I'm Mexican-American. I was born here in Lansing, Michigan. My mother is from Zacatecas. My father is from Piedras Negras. Born and raised here, and I went to Michigan State, got a degree in telecommunications, and returned to school later on and got a degree at Lansing Community College in nursing. I have an associate's degree from Lansing Community College, and right now I am working long-term and rehabilitation. So that's patients who, or people who just can't take care of themselves. Some of them have dementia, some of them are in hospice, some come out of the hospital post-surgery. So I'm a float nurse, so I'm everywhere. For many years I was a stay-at-home mom, and then I wanted to work again, and I started thinking, what is it that I want to do? And my whole life I wanted to be a nurse, and so I decided to be a nurse. I just kind of went back to what I originally wanted to do. So, and I really love it. Helping people. I think every day I get the chance to go and make a difference in somebody's life, either helping them with their health or even the spiritual aspect of helping people with their health. It's just such a wonderful thing, and it's an environment of gratitude. Sometimes it isn't, but most of the time it is. It takes a lot of focus because the nursing program is extremely rigorous. You have to have excellent grades. You really have to keep your focus. It consumes all of you. Nursing school does. You've got to have excellent grades. You can't have like all these extra activities in your life, because once you go and get into nursing school, and of course you literally have to have like a 4.0 now because it's so competitive, so you need to know your chemistry, your sciences like biology, pathophysiology, even statistics. You've got to complete all your math prerequisites, just all your basic prerequisites. You have to excel in everything to even qualify to get into a program, because there's such a high demand, and it's always based on grade point average. Is probably the number one thing. Volunteer work. I would say those are the most important things. At a healthcare facility, or even being a CNA, which is a certified nursing assistant, you can get that, what is it, a certificate in 6 weeks, and a CNA is the people who work under us, and they help us with patients, and we all work as a team, changing maybe patients, helping them get up, helping them brush their teeth, sometimes feeding them. So that's a really great opportunity to see if you really want to be a nurse also. So. I'm not sure, but I did a 3-year program because I have a family. So there are 2-year programs for an associate's degree. Of course, I would highly recommend that anyone who wants to be a nurse get their bachelor's degree, specifically because if you want to work in a hospital or just about anywhere, they are requesting that you have a bachelor's degree. If you have an associate's, it's easier to move within the field of nursing than it is with just an associate's. Areas, for example, let's say if you're an oncology nurse, which is a cancer nurse, and you want to move to a different unit, like say you want to be an OBGYN nurse, then it would be easier to move to that unit. With an associate's degree, it's harder to move to different units. And so it just gives you more flexibility. And so it's really important as a nurse to have that flexibility, because you hear a lot about nurses having burnout. Well, if you get your bachelor's, you're going to have a better opportunity of you know, having that flexibility. How about if you want to be a school nurse? You can't be a school nurse unless you have a bachelor's degree. And that's what I say, to have that flexibility, you'd be safer getting a bachelor's degree, which, like, again, most hospitals, especially magnet hospitals, are requiring that nurses have their bachelor's. Yes, they can. I know that there is a number to call and you can volunteer. There's lots of places out, lots of opportunities to volunteer in the hospital. Especially high school students, if they want to, you know, kind of see if they want to play that role, you know, or try out that role and just kind of get a feel for the environment in the hospital. I'd also suggest that anyone who wants to be a nurse, that they really have to be excellent at doing teamwork, because working in any healthcare field, it's all about teamwork. It's everybody getting along, it's everyone helping one another, and there's, you know, like, if I have to help my CNAs, I go and I help them. You know, whatever the doctor says, you know, I've got to make sure that, you know, we're all working on the same objective, which is patient-centered care. That is the priority, and it's always the priority. And so a great team is the best thing we can do. Well, because I'm working in long-term rehabilitation, the facility that I work at is a 12-hour facility for nurses. So nurses tend to work 3 days a week there, but I have also worked in another facility that they are mostly 8-hour days, and so you can pick morning, afternoon, or evening shift, where in the 12-hour shift you either pick morning or you pick evenings. And
so
it
there's
just
some
depends.
flexibility.
There is flexibility. They both have their advantages. If you work 5 days a week, you can still go home and have time to do things with your family. I think when you work 12-hour days, they get a little bit longer, and then you get home and you're exhausted and you don't want to do anything else. So that's 3 days out of the week out of your life is kind of how we see it. I don't see many Latino families. I think either a Latino family has to have great insurance to have a family member in long-term or rehabilitation. And the other reason I think that we don't see a lot of Latino families is because we just don't believe in putting our family members into long-term facilities. We would rather keep them safe with us because we know that the culture is different, we know that the food is different. And I think also the idea that our family members would feel rejected if we were to put them in long-term. They would probably, my idea is they'd probably pass away sooner than we would want from that rejection. So very few families did I see. I think the approach is very different. I can say, you know, buenos dias, you know, in Spanish. I can speak to them in Spanish. When the elderly population, if their first language is Spanish, they would rather speak in Spanish. They can express themselves better. I think the cultural connection, it doesn't matter if I'm Mexican, they're Cuban, if I'm Mexican, they're Dominican. It just doesn't matter. I think the connection is different. They, I think, warm up to me much easier, and right away they kind of are happy to see me, and they always will speak to me in Spanish. So it's nice. It's nice because I think it's so sad because they don't have many Latino, there's not many Latino nurses or Latino nurses especially. So the cultural aspect is really lacking, I think, in the healthcare environment. I'd say if you have any desire to be a nurse, I say go for it. It's not easy. It's a very rigorous program. It will take 2 to 3 years out of your life, day and night. but it is so rewarding that at the end of your shift you say, I made a difference in somebody's life. I helped someone today, and I'm just so grateful to be able to do that. And it's just such a beautiful thing to be able to go home and just, say, okay, I gave my 100% today. And so I say go out there and be a nurse.